Hi, I am Johnny John. Today let us talk about what wandering thoughts are and how to address them. So, we can consciously create a thought. For instance, we may have a problem in our mind and we want to think about it. Then we can tell ourselves to think of the ways to solve that problem. Now we can also subconsciously create a thought. That is, for instance, when we find ourselves thinking about a problem or about something that we haven't even told ourselves to think about. Now, wandering thoughts are the latter category. They often just spontaneously happen. For instance, when we catch ourselves thinking, when we daydream. Now, wandering thoughts can happen all the time, so we can frequently experience them. But how many of us realize the importance of addressing them? It may never occur to us the importance of addressing our wandering thoughts until we realize how damaging it can be to have them. For instance, when we experience wandering thoughts when we try to sleep, wandering thoughts about what's going to happen in tomorrow's job interview. For instance, when we experience wandering thoughts about a person who has just angered us, that can make us just remain in that state of negativity. Or when we realize just how much of our efficiency and productivity can drop when our wandering thoughts are taking our focus away from trying to do the thing that is in front of us. So it's only when we realize how damaging wandering thoughts can be that we can realize the importance of addressing them. And practices such as meditation can greatly help you to realize this. Because through the practice, as you try to remain in a state of stillness and presentness, it is then you will experience firsthand just how wandering thoughts can pull you away from that state of stillness, of happiness, of presentness. So meditation practice is a great way to develop the natural intention to address our wandering thoughts. Now, to address wandering thoughts, it's a good idea to understand how wandering thoughts happen, how they're created. So wandering thoughts is like a habit, and most of us have a wandering mind. Now, why is this? Well, this habit is like a reflection of the way we live our lives. You see, because most of us, when we have nothing to do, we always try to find something to do. So when we have nothing to do, we try to find something to do. And as a result, we have cultivated a habit of always doing something. And so like this, guess what happens when the mind has nothing to do? It just wanders off. And it's more like the desire we have to just wander off because we're trying to find something to do. So to transform the habit of a wandering mind, we have to start giving instructions to the mind to stop wandering off. Imagine it's like a workplace, right? Our mind is like a workplace. We have to take back control as the boss. And like a workplace, when there's no manager to manage the workers will just wander off into chaos and getting no work done. Likewise, when our mind wanders off, it will be very hard for us to get anything done, especially the thing that we're trying to complete in front of us. So you can start giving instructions to your mind to stop wandering off. For instance, in life, you can start telling yourself to focus on what you're doing. Just think about what you're doing in front of you instead of trying to think of what's going to happen next, what happened yesterday, or even when you go to sleep at night. Instead of just letting the mind wander off, tell your mind that you're going to sleep with a still mind, with a quiet mind. Like this, you can start giving instructions to your mind. This is how you transform your habit patterns. Now, meditation is a great practice where you can train your mind to not wander off, because that is the essence of the practice, to not wander off, to cultivate stillness, to be present. Now at first, when you try not to wander off, when you try to give instructions to the mind not to wander off, it will be very hard. You will feel an inner resistance. It's like a worker that has never been told, has never been bossed around. When it's being bossed around, it's going to retaliate. And that's how you're going to feel. Your mind trying to retaliate. Now this is because of the inner desire we still have to wander off. Because we still want to do something rather than nothing. So let us look at some of the benefits of not wandering off. And that can help you with naturally developing the intention to stay focused. So firstly, not having a wandering mind can help you to be more focused. It can help you with your productivity and also efficiency. Now also, when your mind wanders off a lot, you can feel tired because thinking requires energy, and wandering off is basically subconsciously thinking something again and again. And this is especially draining to the mind, especially if it's a wandering thought, because wandering thoughts are thoughts in which you can't really control. And not having wandering thoughts will help you with your journey of self-transformation, because when your mind is not wandering off, you will be present. And everything which happens outside and inside, you will be clear. This will help you to understand what's happening better in both worlds and help you to penetrate deeper into your mind. Now, practices such as meditation can help you greatly, so I would encourage you again and again to do some meditation to address these wandering thoughts. And in the meditation sessions, or even in life, you will start to notice that there are some wandering thoughts which it's just impossible to let go. You will find yourself sometimes dwelling in wandering thoughts which you can't pull yourself away from. Now the attachment to certain wandering thoughts are there because they are negative ideas. Now some wandering thoughts are driven by negative ideas. For instance, the idea that it's not okay to fail. It will start producing wandering thoughts associated with the fear of failing. So to truly address the wandering thoughts which brings negative experience to your life or your meditation sessions, you have to transform and release your attachment to negative ideas. But I won't go into detail, just letting you become aware of the relationship between attachment, suffering, and negative ideas. You can learn more about it on my website, creationwithincreation.com. So in summary, it's important to address the wandering thoughts. Not only it will help you to regain productivity, but also your state of clarity, your state of happiness. If you want to learn a meditation technique, use my 5% breath technique to help you to develop greater stillness, because through the practice, you will be able to observe the coming and goings of your wandering thoughts as you cultivate stillness. And through the practice, you will develop the knowing of why the habit pattern of wandering off is there. So it's a very self-transformative exercise. Now, if you're already doing some sort of meditation and you find yourself having problems with wandering thoughts, I suggest you to start your meditation sessions with the following declaration, which is to tell yourself not to wander off, not to have any wandering thoughts during the meditation session.